Hello and welcome to the Chatter's Invitational game. I'm caster Mighty Benaya, and I am casting a little bit later in the day than I normally do, but this is going to be posted at the same time, so just be aware we are several hours into the day on day 4 instead of right at change time or right before day change. So without further ado, let's get in and look at the players that we have. I'm going to continue starting with the Dragonian, as he is right next to me and easy to see. The Dragonian has taken out the rest of the Japanese islands. It looks like he is continuing to reinforce the north, and he is reinforcing the south. And it looks like he's taken several islands to the south. Those don't originally start under Japan. Let's see real quickly what their morale is. So it looks like he took those yesterday. So he is briefly moving troops to take islands around as he expands. Let's also look at Wildly Different Name. And he has successfully destroyed a lot of the AI's troops. So last we saw, he was tempting AI into this fort, after which, as they moved, he would move troops in, decimate their forces, and now he is moving on and claiming the rest of their territory. So good job to Wildly Different Name for conducting a really successful campaign and having plenty of troops left over. That's definitely a strategy I will need to look at using in the future. So thank you for sharing that with all of us. As we continue further south to Smooth Criminal. Smooth Criminal is New Zealand is Captain Blackbeard, and I believe we remember that they were working together. New South Wales, okay, they are now at war with each other. So it appears that Captain Blackbeard and, yes, and Smooth Criminal are now no longer allied, but in fact in conflict. And yes, we see here they are fighting over this territory. So it appears that Captain Blackbeard moved into the interior of New South Wales and declared war while having right of way, which is dangerous. Is as long as everybody else is paying attention, he is unlikely to get right of way with anyone else. However, it can be extremely effective at taking a single nation very, very quickly. Moving up to let's see, I have a right of way with all of these, but Mongolia. Mongolia, we are still seeing no significant movement from Mongolia, except for, I believe, that was originally not, did not belong to Mongolia. No, they are not at war with anybody, so that originally started with Mongolia. Yeah, everybody starts with 2 doubles, and that was originally Mongolia's. So Mongolia is continuing to turtle, trying to not look like a threat, which honestly in a game like this can backfire if you get if there's too many troops that your enemy has created because they have gained momentum. But it can also be really helpful to not be seen as a threat in a game where there are a lot of very active players that are not just active, but also very proficient in the game. Moving down to this name change, Blue Dreams, Eleganza is Maglica. I'm really trying. They have continued to reinforce their northern border. It doesn't look like they have advanced at all. So other than taking out this AI, which we've seen a lot of. We've seen a lot of players immediately target an AI and then allow themselves to fall a little bit behind because they want to shore up their defenses. So people are playing very cautiously in this game. Going up here to Tom. Tom has also fortified his borders. He's really not playing many games with Jerry yet. He has still not created any workshops. He is creating that harbor that we saw yesterday, but he still has 0 workshops in all of his territory. So interesting that there are Tom is not creating anything other than that harbor to increase his resource output. Perhaps he wants to stay low on points, doesn't want to become a target. We shall see. He who went to Malta has, in fact, that's Crete. I can never remember where Malta is being pushed back by Germany and Austria-Hungary. Germany and Austria-Hungary are allies, it looks like. Let's look at briefly look at this to see if they are in a coalition together. It doesn't look like they are in a coalition together. No, Europe has a single individual. So it does not look like Germany and Austria-Hungary are. Yeah, Germany is not in a. No, that's not Germany. Germany's an AI. Okay, well, interestingly, it looks like Germany is at war with Italy. They are not, but they are pouring into Austria-Hungary, which has been all but destroyed. I'm sorry, Austria, which has been all but destroyed by Hungary, who is also at war with Italy. So a real madhouse going on in Europe as the last remnant of the remnants of Austria being absolutely destroyed by Hungary, and a real quick elimination from Hitch, who allowed he who went to Malta to do a lot of the dirty work. Watch out for the alliance that is forming in Europe, and if they're not allied, then this could be real interesting as they go head to head. Moving farther south, we have too much wood. I think it was need more wood yesterday. Now it's too much wood. Maybe they should change their name to Can't Make Up My Mind. They have reinforced a couple of sections, but have really stayed pretty static in their homeland. But they did take out Somalia. So they took out Mogadishu, and they moved north into Hordeo. So they got an additional fish and an additional iron, which is really well defended because this is an AI here. So all they have to deal with is AIs and potential southern front, and also perhaps an invasion from Congo, but that is less likely. So not really much to say here. It seems like there is a consistent theme of kill one AI, then turtle. Except for in the Americas, and we'll get to that here in a moment. So Richard Nixon also turtling up, building his harbor in D.C., building his workshops and forts on his doubles, and completely isolated from other players other than I'll Allow It up in Canada. So in a good spot to keep all of his borders protected. Moving down to One-Eyed Willie. Willie is consolidating his gains, allowing scouts to go out. There is a single... Oh, disembarking. Okay, moving to his capital. And look at that. Okay, so it appears that once the fighting was over, One-Eyed Willie is moving most of his units to his capital for that additional gain on morale. It is day 4, and his capital is up to 98% morale, meaning there is a significant boost to any troops stationed there. And then farther south in San Salvador, we have Captain Jack Sparrow, and Jack Sparrow has successfully moved through Panama, has control. We had that yesterday, and it appears that he is moving most of his troops to not his capital, but the province directly adjacent to his capital, amassing them to possibly gain some morale or possibly stage an attack on a nearby neighbor. It will not be One-Eyed Willie or Elizabeth Swan, as they are in a coalition together, but Captain Jack may be looking south to Colombia and beyond. Moving down to Peru, Lalo Kurd has continued to fortify and prevent anyone from invading him and scout. Most of what Peru has been doing is scouting, and if we remember, we had these 20 here at Iquitos. I supposed that they might be looking to move out into one of the other neighboring regions. That hasn't happened yet. We'll see if it happens soon. Moving down to our nutty professor, Lord Wolf Midas Slayer, who is, I believe, the only individual that I have shared a map with, and perhaps the only person on the map who has had the gumption to kill another player thus far. Obviously, we do have the conflict going on with Captain Blackbeard and Smooth Criminal, but Lord Wolf, Midas Slayer, did take the capital. I'm sorry, not the capital, this region, and is moving towards the capital. Oh, and he did, in fact, take the capital, and it looks like Argentina is all but destroyed. They have one region left, and this region is blockaded in. Perhaps the merciful Lord Wolf will allow for this poor, bereaved player to sit the game in his isolation, or more likely, the wolf is just allowing this to sit and marinate before he feasts on this roast. An excellent job by Lord Wolf for his first conquest. I am interested to see how he continues in his conquests as Chile, which is, again, one of the harder nations to play as because of that long border. And his capital is still open for attack from what is admittedly an AI, but that AI may give right-of-way to an enemy. And so his capital is still vulnerable. It'll be interesting to see how this game progresses. Those are all of the featured locations. Let's briefly look at major events through province morale. There is some damage here. Dutch East India seems to have come down and is attacking Western Australia. Do not believe that Western Australia was a player. It was an AI. So a lot happening in this tightly packed bunch of players in the Pacific. A little bit of conquest going on here in Asia. Several territories taken, but since it's Russia, they are very big territories, so they're very noticeable up here. But for the most part, just minor skirmishes. Frenchie is continuing to take out Volta. And obviously there was the large change in South America. And Ken Oath has taken a couple of provinces up in North America. So expanding, taking out, I believe that was an AI. And lots of room for him to continue to do so. As for coalitions, we briefly looked at this to see if Germany was in a coalition. Right now, in first place is the United Isles, where all of those players are together. It looks like Smooth Criminal, the Australian player, is part of the United Isles, and Captain Blackbeard is part of the Pirates of Australia. So it'd be interesting to see if these two top rated, and by top rated I mean highest points, coalitions go in an all out war with each other. Because they are very much so in similar locations, and one of the members of the smaller coalition has declared war in a terrifying way with one of the nations of the larger. So it'll be interesting to see if there is more fighting on the islands, or if this is relegated to Australia. The Lion's Den is in third place. They are in Africa. Pirates, which is Elizabeth Swann, Captain Jack Sparrow, and One-Eyed Willie, we saw in the Caribbean. They are currently also tied for... they are in fourth place. Asia is in fifth place. The American Empire, which is most notably in South America, is in sixth place, followed by McLaren's, and then various single nation coalitions are falling in behind. That is all that I have for today. That is an end to my news recap. If you have any comments that you would like to have specified, please remember these casts are 7 days delayed. So if you have a comment from day 2, it will be day 9 before I am able to get it in the cast. But I'm happy to make any corrections or make any comments on prior episodes. Just leave me a comment. Soli Deo Gloria, and I'll see you next time.